to Attingham Park, and our first job today is to feed the cows because they're hungry. Grazing doesn't really cut it for the main dairy herd, so yeah, getting some TMR mixed. We have a normal mix on here. I'm confusing it with Maple, where we have the massively edited one. On here we have a mixer that holds about 40,000 litres. So first in is some beet pop silage, obviously removing the wrapper because you wouldn't want to feed the cows the nasty plastic. Some of our bales have a special enhanced wrapper which can be fed, but sometimes we take the wrapper off. So we're going for a bale of beet pop silage because we have that fermented now. And it's kind of cool to, I think, to mix in a few different elements into the TMR as we're making it, because I'm really bad at getting stuck in a rut with that. We're going to do some grass silage. These bales have been here a while, so I think they're from one of our first cuts of grass. They're clearly very, very rigid grass bales. But yeah, we'll put in a couple of grass bales. We're going to do some grain mix and some maize silage. And then we're going to get into some Grasswork today and making some hay. I'm trying to mix the jobs up on here because we have a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be done at the kind of the same time. So yeah, I want to mix things up a little bit. See, those bales have the mineral enhanced wrap on them. We have an awful lot of manure as well that I think we're going to start feeding into the mini PGA. Although I have been keeping it to spread on the fields when we get to harvest time, or to replanting. So just checking how much it holds. It is 45,000 litres, just so I don't put too much grain mix in, because I did that before and it was a real nightmare to sort out. So it's the Christmas break. It's Monday and I don't have to go to work, which is kind of cool. I don't know about you guys. When you obviously I've had a really crazy busy period leading up to this Christmas break, and I've just kind of collapsed since I stopped work. I say that I went out for a fairly long run on Saturday and my body's been regretting it ever since, because the snow is all gone now, but it was still covered in not really snow, kind of this really weird uneven, hard packed, snowy, icy stuff, and it was really uncomfortable to run on, and stressed out my lower legs quite a lot. So I'd hoped to go out for a run yesterday and didn't, because walking was hurting. Same today, so hopefully tomorrow I'll have recovered enough. But yeah, I really haven't done much since finishing work Friday lunchtime. Played a lot of video games. I am in the midst of a marathon recording session. So the Mrs. D and the teenager have gone to a Christmas market with the in-laws, which is my idea of hell. So while they're doing that, I'm recording videos. I've just done the Timberborn video, now recording this voiceover, and I have at least 2 more videos I would like to get recorded. That depends on how well my brain holds up and whether I can just keep talking for that long, because it's going to be quite a while. You'll notice this video is slightly shorter, and the half-hour videos were kind of nice, and they'll probably be the norm, but I might throw in the odd slightly shorter one, particularly over the break, because it's just about finding time to do the voice stuff when I generally don't like recording when there are other people in the house. I get a little bit self-conscious about talking to myself, so I prefer to do it when the house is empty. It's just how I am. So yeah, there might be a little bit short. I'm saying that I have no idea how long the Greenlands video is that I've got recorded that I need to do a commentary for. I actually think it's quite long, because we were doing a mega grass silage harvest in that one. So yeah, I think that one might be quite long actually. So we'll scratch that idea. Tomorrow's video, if you're interested, should be the one looking at when's the best point to sell lambs that I mentioned in the Can You Make Money from Sheep video. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. It wasn't the answer that I expected, and that's not clickbait. It literally wasn't the answer that I expected. So yeah, it kind of changes how you might want to do lambs. I had actually planned to do a bit more prep work for that, but I kind of got stuck playing video games and not doing that. So anyway, We're going to try and get some straw bales out of here. I decided rather than completely restacking this, I'm just going to try and get the horrible bales out of this shed. I way overstacked this. I've no idea why I put them so high, but they're a pain in the butt to get out, which is why I time-lapsed it, because it took me ages, and you guys didn't need to see 5 minutes of me faffing with straw bales. The second lot, which I don't know whether I showed, took even longer to get out of the shed. Yeah. Note to self, don't stack the straw bales so stupidly high. I have noticed that the cows seem to be using a lot more straw now. The same on Greenlands, and Greenlands I have a lot of cows, but the straw usage does seem to have picked up a bit, which is kind of cool. So next job is to make some hay. We have, I think, just the one grass field to cut, and I'm going to do it a little bit differently. If you watch the maple videos and a couple of others, I think I've been talking about the fact that I miss seasons drying. I miss the this kind of strategic element of you've got to pick the right day to do it because you need good weather. I just miss the process, so I'm going to try and simulate it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mow the grass, I'm going to ted it to semi-dry, and then we're going to leave it overnight. Overnight it will magically turn into hay through the power of courseplay and farming pixies. Yeah, basically I'm sure there'll be occasions when I don't do this, but I kind of dislike that I can come on, cut the grass, ted it, and it is instantly hay. I've spoken before about the fact that I'm not a massive fan of the multiple stages of tedding that maizePlus brings in. So I'm just making sure that I've got the conditioner and swath dropping enabled. But I really dislike automatic hay. I miss that feature of seasons a lot. So we are going to try and recreate it. And what I'm doing is I'm going to mow with the conditioner on. That'll give us conditioned grass. We actually don't want to swath. We want wide spreading. It took me a while to work out what the key was for that, because I seem to be forgetting my farm sim keys a lot lately. Then we're going to ted it once to semi-dry, and we're going to leave it, and when we come back on the 2nd of July it will be hay. It means me doing a bit of work off camera and a bit of suspension of disbelief and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, it's just something that I want to try and do. Just think it feels better. I'm not a mega realism player, but I just think it feels better with you know. So I've checked the weather forecast. The weather forecast is good overnight in game, and yeah, we're going to mow the grass, we're going to ted it, and then we're going to let it dry to hay. We still have the wheat, I think. No, it might be barley. Might be barley to harvest, and we have a field of maize still. I had planned to silage that, but now we have pigs, and I've realized I haven't done anything with it in this Let's Play. We're going to make some CCM instead, so we need to leave that at least another month to finish growing, so it's in the harvest ready state, and then we're going to make some CCM, because I haven't done that in, I think I've only done it in one of the very early tutorials I did, which is now quite a while ago that I recorded it. So we're going to make some CCM. We're going to probably bale it, because I don't think we have space to put in another bunker. So we'll probably have to use the multi-baler. But yeah, that's my plan. We'll combine it. So we'll need to get a corn header. We'll mill it, and then we'll ferment it and turn it in to feed for the pigs. I think you can feed it unfermented to the pigs, but I want to do the whole process. So you can also put it in a bunker, but as I say, we only have one bunker on the farm, and we don't really have a lot of space to build others. So yeah, we're going to bale it. It's why I'm doing a lot of bales with all of the feed, is that this particular farm doesn't have that many silage clamps, which is kind of weird when it's a big dairy farm. I do like it when farms have a couple of silage clamps, because I'm really bad at placing stuff. You watched me try and place the pig pen. Yeah, so I'm not great at it, and it would be kind of nice if for something like a dairy farm you had 2 or 3 clamps to I guess with base game you only make silage, but with maizePlus you make a lot more than that. So I think now is a good point to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Really appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all awesome, particularly the two Disturbian elites. I never expected anyone would want to pick up that tier. I kind of threw it in as a patron tells me I should do this, so I'm going to set it at a number that is kind of nuts, and there are kind of nuts people out there. So I really appreciate it. That's not meant as an insult. That is, you guys are awesome. If you're interested in any of those, then the links are below, either YouTube channel membership or Patreon. If you join the Patreon and you go for the second tier or above, you get the exclusive Let's Play on Furling, which people seem to be enjoying. So yeah. Also, while we're doing all the promo stuff, if you're interested in picking up any of the Giants DLCs or the Season 2 pass, then use code DISTURBED, because eventually that will help me out if we can make it to Bronze Giants Partner. Yeah, that's all the promo stuff out of the way. It's I'm really, and so the YouTube patron thing is part of the perks that you get, and yeah, the rest of it I'm kind of bad at. Anyway, let's get back to mowing some grass, shall we? This was one of the maize fields, I think, that I replanted with grass just because I figured we'd need a lot of grass silage, and I think I went even more overboard, as you'll see on Maypole Farm, and I think we probably have more grassland than we need, even for all the cows that I have. The counter to that is we're going to need to fatten the beef at some point once they are more mature, so we'll be throwing TMR in there, or what I might do is sacrifice a bit more of, say, the bottom of the grass field where we put the pigs, and put in a small separate enclosure for the beef that we want to fatten, and we'll feed those up. Actually, given that we're using the self-made pig shed, maybe the cow shed that goes with it that I'm using on Maypole would fit in well. Although I don't like using the same buildings on different saves. It would fit quite well with, obviously, the pig shed that we have there. I really do like that series of buildings. It would be kind of cool if you did some more. I guess you wouldn't really have a sheep pen like that, but yeah, I guess it makes sense. Maybe a chicken one would be cool. Yeah, so Christmas break time. How are you guys coping? Have you finished yet? Because I know I finished really early compared to a lot of people, and yeah, in some ways it's awesome, but in some ways spending so much time with the people that you love and cherish so much can be a little bit stressful for some people. So yeah, you know, look after yourselves. It can be, Christmas can be a really stressful time, and yeah, reach out to your friends if you're struggling. Reach out through Discord if you're struggling. If I'm all honest, yeah, I have good days and bad days, and I'm hoping that over the Christmas break I have a few more of the good days and can recharge my brain a little bit, because it certainly did get very worn down with everything. Not just work. I talk about work a lot, but life's pretty stressful as well sometimes, and so yeah, having that break is kind of nice. I don't know if I've recorded since we had the teenager's 18th birthday. That went well. I find it very weird that I have an adult child, and technically she's my stepdaughter, but don't ever think of her like that. She changed her name to my surname when she was 16, I think, which was the earliest she could legally do it without her biological male parents' permission. He's not a dad, he's not a father. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's really weird having an adult child, offspring. I don't know, I can't think of the right word. But yeah, it's kind of weird that she's now legally an adult. So I can kick her out of the house now. I'm joking by the way. I used to joke that as soon as she turned 18 I would be asking for her door key back. Obviously not. Yeah, she's a good kid. You may have noticed, I don't know what I spoke about in the last video, just having a quick check on the progress of the pigs. Not much time has passed, so not much is happening. There was a bald patch in the sheep pen, which I need to fix. When I was landscaping and painting the terrain, I got a bit carried away. So we do need to go back over and fix that at some point because it looks a bit crap. But I need to get the drill out to do that because that's proper planted grass, I think. I don't think it's meadow. So, yeah. Next job is to get the tedder. I was looking to put a front weight on here, but I think a 3.5 ton front weight on the Valtra G series is a tad much. So we're going to go with that. We're only putting the tedder on the back, so it should be okay. I do love this tractor. It's an awesome little grass working tractor. It's why I went for the knock-ins on it, because they feel like better grass working tires. I don't know. But yeah, it's what I've been going for because it feels like the right sort of tyre for grass work. Maybe a wider tyre would be better. I'm not sure. So I'm hoping still to make it to with the break and the randomness and the losing track of days and that kind of thing. I know it's still Monday at the moment, but it's when I'm recording this. It's not for you. Hoping to make it to the stream tomorrow. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but there'll be a bunch of random chat. So yeah. Tune in if you're interested in listening to random chat about life, farming, and just about anything else that might crop up. And you'll get to see me trying to drive tractors live, which is interesting. I believe I only crashed once. I've been told I crashed maybe more than once, but I think everyone is lying. So yeah, if you want to see how many times I crash, tune into that, and we'll see how we get on. It's yeah, it's a very different experience. I think I've spoken about it since the extra realism mods that they like to use really challenge me. Very different style of play. So yeah, it's, even manual attach is. And I've used manual attach a couple of times. There are a couple of times I joined VF's multiplayer, and he loves his manual attach, and I think that's the only time I've used it. And so I sort of know how it works, but even so, still, I think at least twice I forgot to attach hydraulic hoses, and then it took me a while to work out why I couldn't do something, which, yeah, I get the idea, but, and yeah, I don't really, it's a cool mod if you like that kind of thing, but for me, if you, and I've said it in the stream, if you're a real farmer and you got out and you attached the PTO, you wouldn't forget to attach the hydraulic hoses at the same time. Yeah. That's my view on it anyway. So we are heading to semi-dry. So we are one state away from hay, as I said, and the hay will magically dry overnight. We may not come straight back to this in the next video. I might go off and do some other things. We might just leave this to dry out on its own as it goes. So we've got plenty of other jobs to do on the farm. I think the other grass fields will be ready in August. This one is a bit out of sync, I said, because we replanted it with grass after I cut the corn on it, or chopped corn, cut corn, maize. I made maize silage from it. Yeah, let's go with that. Something else I'm not sure of, again, because my holiday is obviously quite a bit longer than some people's, is whether we'll be having mods whether we've had mods this week, because it's Monday morning. It doesn't really bother me because I'm often not sitting waiting for new mods or hunting for mods, because I tend to only add mods to my game as I need them, and I guess the exception to that is the enhanced animal system, which is a really cool addition. And yeah, so I did add that kind of soon after it arrived, but most other things I won't add as soon as they land, even if I think they're cool. I still wait for whether when I need to add a mod in. It's just how I play. So yeah, and we had multiplayer back, and that seems to have gone down reasonably well. Not so many comments on that. I was a bit rusty, and so I didn't do a lot of the standard required bits of like, subscribe, comment, and all that stuff. It took us a very long time to get going, mainly because I had a whole load of sound issues getting set up again to capture Discord. If you watch the video, you'll see I still had sound issues because I didn't get any game sound. Sound and making videos on YouTube is one of the sound is one of the hardest bits I find. It's why when people comment things like get a new voice or fix sound, I get really angry, because sound is really hard. So yeah, I think we spent maybe 45 minutes with me trying to get getting Discord audio into OBS working after such a long gap, because it's the first time I've done it since I got the laptop back. So yeah, that was challenging, but we got there, which is cool. And that's it for today. So we're going to leave this grass to finish drying to hay, and we'll be back, and we'll probably be doing some we'll be back in the combine. I think next time we'll get the last of the grains combine and get all the straw sorted. So if you enjoyed the video, click the like button, comments, questions or suggestions below, and 60% of you aren't. So if you enjoyed the video and you aren't, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and I will see you next time on Attingham Park.